What's up, guys? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are around the world. It's good to be back streaming again. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing these impromptu streams now and again. Most likely not scheduling things. We'll see if I end up doing them at the same time. Uh, we'll see what works. I'll be testing as well, doing things maybe afternoon here, sometimes in the evenings. Pretty unlikely that I'll be doing them in the mornings, Philippine time. But let's see. Who knows? So yesterday we got like 500 plus views, which is no, sorry, 500 plus views on my personal Facebook. But that doesn't include the other 3 or 4 channels that I was streaming from. So we're racking up close to 1,000 views, something like that, and we're just getting started again. So that's really cool. So let me switch on chat. We shall find out whether or not this is a good time to be doing this. Like I said yesterday, I'm not gonna have very a very methodical approach to this. I'm not gonna have like clear agenda items or an outline. It's gonna be more like a hangout where community gets together. If you guys have any questions, then go ahead and throw them my way. It's gonna be very informal. Once in a while, I might do what I used to do, where we would actually go through some material and I'll maybe teach through some stuff, go through some slides, that sort of thing. But for now, this is more just therapeutic for me and for anyone else who decides to come on board. I mean, and hang out. If you look at what's out there, guys, my gosh, when you think about other streamers, I mean, I'm not like super into TikTok. I have a channel, right, and we put regular content on there, but I don't spend that much time surfing socials. But when I do, I mean, and when you see what's out there, my gosh, the kind of stuff that's out there, right? It's not that difficult to stand out and to inject substance into the conversation, the ongoing conversation out there, where you literally have people just churning out all kinds of. Sorry to put, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's just, alam nyo, yung ibang mga nakikita kong channel talagang parang, bakit ang daming nanonood nito? Diba? I mean, sa dami ng problema sa mundo, sa dami ng mga kailangan gawin, tapos you have people spending, hours upon hours just scrolling through stuff where it's literally just nothing and nonsense. And that's why it's really unfortunate that what are we? I think we are like the TikTok capital of the world right now, or we're definitely up there somewhere, which I don't think that that's something to be very proud of, really. I think it's pretty unfortunate with all that our country has going for it, with all that Filipinos have to bring to the table. Yeah, I made a post recently of this, what is it? There was a gun that was created specifically to put down Filipino warriors because normal artillery, I think it was a Colt 45 if I'm not mistaken, because normal artillery was not able to bring these warriors and these combatants down. That's the kind of people we used to be. That's the kind of reputation that we used to have. And so from that sort of a reputation to one of being the top TikTokers in the world, yeah, I think that's pretty unfortunate. But there's hope, right? There's always hope. And one of the reasons also we're so excited about about this whole trending Ophir thing, right? Because it just so happens that it is trending right now, and it means people are starting to wake up, and people are starting to look into their past and look into who we really are and what our identity is as a country and as a people. Hi Malu, blessed evening to you too. Um, so that's a very interesting and I would say insightful rabbit hole to go down for those of you who are Filipinos or who are interested in the Philippines and our past and our history. Kasi ang dami talagang ebidensya, guys. And some of you guys have probably seen Dan Fernandez, the congressman who recently gave a speech about renaming the Philippines Ophir. And how cool is that, though? That the chances of that happening, like, we come out with Ophir Crypto, and literally a couple of months after that, you have somebody speaking at the at Congress talking about how we seriously need to consider uh, renaming our country Ophir, or at least something that is connected to our historical identity, because the name Philippines is after Spanish King Philip, and so it doesn't really tie into who we are as a people, and we have a very rich history, which has been, this is not really very controversial anymore. And I mean, it's just a fact. It's been erased. You go, what we're taught is just a couple of hundreds of years of history, when actually we've been around and we've been thriving for millennia. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest this. And so it's a rabbit hole that I highly recommend people go down, especially sa mga Pinoy sa inyo na gustong malaman talaga kung sino ba talaga tayo as a people. I think the music is a little bit loud. Let me just turn this down a little bit. Here we go. I'm getting used to this restream user interface. They changed a few things around. So medyo late ngayon. Let's see if we end up with the same number of streams, or rather the same number of viewers as we did yesterday. Although when we were on, there weren't that many people, but to see the numbers spike to almost 600, that was definitely pretty cool. So let's see if we can be consistent, and let's see if we can start reeling in the same kinds of numbers. So yeah, and just please like, share, subscribe, spread the word, get the word out about Ophir Crypto. As I keep saying over and over again, Ophir Crypto is there to bless churches, to bless those who've been sidelined, and to help those who want to serve communities who are underprivileged and who are in need of resources. Many of these pastors and these missionaries and these church leaders are serving in some of the most remote areas in the country, and they really have very serious needs. And so, Ophir, their understanding about Ophir, learning about Ophir, and receiving the allocations that we give to them, I mean, it's a massive help to them. So if you guys have any contacts with any churches or any parachurches or any organizations that would be interested in receiving Ophir Crypto, then please get in touch with us. Look us up, especially on Facebook. That's probably the best way to get in touch. Our page on Facebook, the Ophir Crypto page. So facebook.com/Ophir Crypto. Yeah, make sure that you spread the word. So what do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Yeah, it is quite late here, and it is early morning after Valentine's in the States right now. Sige, ano ba pag-uusapan natin? Siguro lots of scammers, lots of scamming going on out there, and just bringing this up because we've seen a lot of it. In our Telegram chat, there's a constant effort to clean it up from these scam accounts that come in, and unfortunately, crypto is really rampant with scams. So it's really important para sa lahat sa inyo na medyo bago sa crypto or kakapasok lang sa community. Importante po sa inyo na for you to be mindful, and for you to always be thinking about that. If somebody gets in touch with you, for example, out of the blue, direct messages you, then and you don't know them, and you haven't heard of them, and they're not part of the community, then I would be very, very careful. Even if they are part of the community, there are so many impersonators out there. So that's one of the things that I would say for those of you who are new to crypto and who are learning about crypto for the first time through Ophir um, or whatever else. All those of you guys who have just started coming into the space, be very, very careful of scammers. So people who just get in touch with you out of nowhere, even if they are well-known people in the community, make sure to double check that they really are who they say they are. But bottom line, if somebody direct messages you who you don't know, probably best to just steer clear, especially if they start making small talk and just start that's usually how it starts, right? Small talk here and there, asking you questions, then maya there's a massive investment opportunity that I'd like to bring to the table, or I've worked with so and so, this trader who has done this for me, right? Those are the things that you need to take care of. Hey, Pastor Ranilo, kumusta? Shalom, shalom, and massive blessings out to you. So, yes, as I was saying, be very wary of scams. And another piece of advice, which I went into yesterday as well, be very careful of trading and leverage trading, especially. And you'll get a lot of people though approaching you on once you're in the space. Masasanay ka rin. So, and Pastor Ranilo is saying scammers are looking for anyone who doesn't know what they're doing, right? Yep, absolutely. And ano talaga, and nagulat ako dahil hindi ko talaga akalain na ganun karaming ang bilis nila eh. Ang bilis nila. In fact, 'di ba nung kaka-launch lang natin ng Ophir Crypto, siguro mga ilang linggo lang, may mga fake accounts na, mga fake Firestarter accounts and fake Doc Vince accounts. So, ang bilis nila. At saka yung Ophir Crypto, siguro mga 3-4 na lumabas na fake na sites, right? So, the good thing is that we've been around long enough now. I mean, in crypto time, we've been around long, right? Because crypto is like, the space just moves so fast. So the fact that we've been around now from August and are going strong, that's a massive, that's something to be massively grateful for. But I was going to say that the good thing about having been around this long also is you kind of set yourself apart na, and as far as the scams and all of that stuff, it's pretty intuitive already. You look at our sites and you see there's some traction there, and so you can tell kung alin ba talaga yung mga totoong sites at alin yung hindi. But just something to be wary of, and something to be very, very mindful of while you're in this space. So what else is up? What else is there to talk about? I mean, I've just been reflecting on how much we have to be grateful for, guys. Even with things are about to change. Things have been, we were in the bottom of the bear market for, my gosh, seemed like forever. but we're seeing glimmers of hope. Bitcoin now has broken 50K or something, or uh, close to that. So um, para sa inyong mga sobrang bago lang sa crypto, so may mga cycles sa crypto. So we have these cycles, and they're 4-year cycles, and they typically follow what they call the halvening, the Bitcoin halvening. And what happens during the Bitcoin halvening is that the incentives of miners are decreased. So basically, with Bitcoin, right? You have miners who mine Bitcoin, and that's how Bitcoin comes into circulation. And these miners, they receive incentives, and every 4 years, those incentives are halved. The incentives they receive are in Bitcoin, and those incentives are split in half every single 4 years. So that makes Bitcoin more scarce every 4 years. And what that means is then you see a massive pump that happens with Bitcoin, typically every 4 years. And uh, over the last, I mean, since Bitcoin has come about, you see a similar pattern, right? And so right now we're right about that. We've just come through, a lengthy bear market where basically all crypto, most of crypto was really down, and the dumps prices were super super low. And that's actually the best time to come in. What you don't want to do is to come in when I came in, which was at the top of the last bull cycle. And kadalasan, yan din yung nangyayari, because when everything gets hyped up and prices are starting to skyrocket, that's when word spreads, and that's when everybody gets all excited, and then everybody decides to jump in, and that's when the whales sell off, and retail investors just lose their shirts, right? So, ayun, sabi ni Pastor Ron, 52K already, wow, for the first time in 2 years. That's right, entering the bull market before having, maybe. I don't know. I need to work on my technical analysis skills. Um, so we are entering into the next bull run. I mean, that is not debatable. Now, as to whether it's started and when its peak is going to be, that's what we need to establish for ourselves. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Exactly. So for those who aren't familiar with this saying, it's a crypto saying: buy the rumor, sell the news. Meaning, when you hear the rumor that prices are going to pump, that's the time that you buy. And by the time that things get to the mainstream news and they're all talking about crypto going up and how everything is going to the moon, that's the time that it's actually better to sell. And yeah, so that's buy the rumor, sell the news. Um, but of course, one of the principles that we espouse as a community is being in for the long run, and not, I mean, if you want to spot trade, or if you feel like you're called to trade, then so be it. I would just really recommend that you take the time to invest the time to get really good at it. Make sure that you find trusted people that you can learn from. So for those of you who don't know, I actually, um, when I got involved about what 2 years and a half ago now, or so, I thought that I found someone who was very trustworthy. As in, napakaganda ng stats niya, and talagang uh, may academy pa nga siya. He was teaching. He had hundreds, literally hundreds of students, and everybody thought this guy was like, the cream of the crop. And what ended up happening? My gosh, it was a total nightmare. Like initially, he was doing really, really well. People were having him manage their funds, and it used leverage trading. And eventually, in a matter of a couple of weeks, he just lost everything, to the point that um, this guy was getting death threats from people because he had lost their funds. But imagine someone who had a proper academy, who was he was a very good teacher as well. And yet what happened. So all of that just to say, be very, very careful, and look for people that you can trust. And that's one of the reasons that we always say that if you're going to come into crypto, it's best to come in with a long-term time frame, looking for projects that have good product market fit, and just holding over the long term. And yan yung dahilan kung bakit ang Ophir crypto, the way that it's designed as an endowment token. So it's really meant to be held over the long term. So the whole principle behind Ophir is you stake it, you earn off of the interest, and then you scrape the interest so you can leave your principal locked in. Right. So Pastor Ronilo says, do your own research. Exactly. Always do your own research. Don't rely on other people, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's you need to be accountable. You need to take responsibility. And that's what crypto is all about, right? That's what crypto is all about. That's why Bitcoin was created in the first place, so that people would become sovereign or in control of their own economic energy, that you remove middlemen, that you take control over your financial future. That's the reason that crypto was invented in the first place. Although, yun nga, medyo, ever since Bitcoin was created, there's been numerous evolutions. First, you had Ethereum that came up, where you had smart contracts that were developed for the first time, and then you had all kinds of evolution that happened afterwards. And then things kind of shifted from Bitcoin, which was meant to be decentralized philosophically, right? The idea was that it wouldn't be controlled by anyone, that you cannot change the code, although technically you can if you basically if you get over 50% of miners to agree on changing the code, then it can be done. But then, yeah, the whole idea was that it would be next to impossible for that to happen. But through multiple phases of evolution, then things started veering back to becoming very, very centralized. And then, ayan, nagkaroon ng all of these projects na everything is tinatawag sila lahat na DeFi, decentralized finance. Pero sa katotohanan, it's not really. There's a spectrum, right? You have a spectrum of decentralization. You have, on the one end, I guess you could say, the central banking digital currencies, since they're coming out and it's in the name, for crying out loud, right? Centralized banking digital currencies. And then you have other projects, and moving towards more decentralized structures like DAOs, or decentralized autonomous organizations that manage certain projects, wherein you have voting and the community can vote to change certain things, certain parameters, certain things in the smart contract. And then you have projects which are all the way on the other end of the spectrum, which are projects with immutable code. And that's what Ophir is. Ophir, Texan, Hex, these are projects that do not have admin keys, meaning the code cannot be changed. And so you can be secure. You can rest assured that the crypto or the project that you're involved in, that price isn't just going to inflate, that they aren't going to create more tokens, that they don't have access to, they can't censor your transactions, they can't change things around, right? These are finished products, completely finished products. And then, of course, just the way Richard Hart would, one of Richard Hart's principles as well, and one of the things that he started to popularize is this whole idea of making sure that you have audits as well. I mean, Hex is audited by three different auditors, and so Ophir is audited by Certic, Hexen is audited by Certic, and so Hex, Texan, Ophir, real DeFi. That's right. Amen to that. Hey, Brother Edward, Pastor or Brother Edward. Shalom. Pasensya na po kayo. I'm not sure if minsan di ako sigurado kung pastor kayo or so ano na lang. Replying to sige, pakita natin yung mga comments para ano. So here's Pastor Edward. Blessings out to you. And then sumunod si Pastor Ranilo. Ito daw. Nax. Pogi mo daw, Pastor Edward. Nax. Akala ko, Pastor Ranilo, walang tatapat sa'yo sa kapugihan. Di ba yun yung hinirit mo last time? So there, being in crypto with a long time frame, not being in it to make a quick buck. I think that's really important. Hello, Bishop Michael. Kumusta? Wow, I like that. God evening. Nice. Yep, huge blessings out to you as well. Naka naman, hindi lalamang sa akin. Nako. Kayo naman, napaka-humble niyo naman. So, crypto principles, right? Richard Hart. Again, I'll be going back to the same things over and over again. If you have not looked at Richard Hart's content, you would not listen to him, I would highly recommend that you check him out. One of the smartest people out there. Medyo may pagka-PG lang, may pagka may pagka-parental guidance lang or baka R nga minsan. But so much to learn. And or from this guy. At saka yung mga debate niya. If you guys get to see this guy debate, wow. I mean, he just literally, this is what I said in a recent interview. I mean, it's what drew me to the Hex pulsechain community. It was really the debates that I saw Richard Hart do, where he was debating a lot of these Bitcoin maximalists and basically making the case that which is controversial and will piss a lot of people off, but making the case that Bitcoin is not as decentralized as everybody claims, and how it's old technology and there are actually better projects out there worth looking at. And obviously he talks about Hex, right? Excuse me, which Hex was created to be a better Bitcoin. In fact, yung original na pangalan ng Hex was Bitcoin Hex, and then they eventually just changed it to Hex. But the whole point of Hex was to be a better Bitcoin. As crazy and as out there as that sounds, but if you listen to Richard Hart, spend some time listening to this guy, watch his debates, and you will see that this guy's mind runs at like 300 miles per hour, man. I mean, seriously, the amount of information this guy has. At saka ang napaka-okay rin. Kasi if you see his content from like his later content, that's when he starts getting all braggadocious and starts flexing all the Louis Vuitton and all the diamonds and whatever else that he has. But if you look at his past and you look at the content he used to create, because he was creating content way back, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and very, very different. It's a very different Richard Hart that you see there, which really makes the case that what he's doing now, or what he was doing fairly recently, was really a means to an end. It was really for show. It was really to get clicks. But his old stuff, I mean, first of all, the guy has released how many self-help books, right? This is before Hex, before all the, this was way back, right? All stuff about becoming a better person in general, making a good apology, not being productive and being your best self. I mean, things like that, and you see it in his content as well, because he had a YouTube channel and he was talking about this sort of stuff, talking about the problems in society, how they can be solved. Right? This was all before the major flexing Richard Hart. So para sa mga uh, willing na tumingin sa yung talagang yung mga uh, para sa mga uh, yeah, I can't say it in Filipino. For anyone who's willing to look, right? Yung talagang susuriin, 'di ba? Yung ebidensya, kumbaga, you will see that this is a sincere person. This is not a person out to scam people. That's my, that's my sense. Not financial advice. I need to, give that disclaimer. Also, don't want my channel shut down again. Um, but but Richard Hart, I would say, if you take the time to listen to his old stuff, listen to there's audio versions of his books out there as well. You will see that that this is a person who genuinely cares and who genuinely wants to make a difference in the world. Although it's directed towards, and he admits this, it's directed towards glory, towards his um, receiving that glory. And at one point in the highest of stakes documentary, he even talks about wanting to be loved at the end of the day and stuff. But the point is that all of this stuff where he talks about all the flash and that it's really a means to an end. And hey, it's worked, right? From a marketing standpoint, the fact of the matter is it's gone quite viral, or it's definitely built the foundations to go viral, because in some respects it's still pre-viral. But if you guys can check out the highest of stakes, that's right, Pastor Renilo. Salamat for bringing that up. There's a documentary out there. It's not yet available here in the Philippines, but if you look it up well, actually, I don't know, you can probably find it somewhere. Look, it's called The Highest of Stakes, and it's a documentary about Richard Hart and Hex. And then you be the judge. You have a listen, and my hope is that you'll take the time to look into his older stuff as well, because that's what really changed my mind. Not because if you just watch like the first things that you see, then I would totally understand. You'd be like, I don't really want to have, especially kung kung Kristiyano kayo, at saka, you importante sa yung mga just to be value and purpose driven. Then I would I would understand, and I too was a little bit like turned off. But take the time to listen, take the time to watch his debates, take the time to look at his old stuff, and it's my firm conviction that there's no better person to learn from, or at least he's one of the top people out there to learn from. Other guys, special mentions, who I highly recommend that you follow: Rags to Riches, or Brandon, brother Brandon, absolutely amazing alpha there. Alpha, by the way, for para sa inyo na medyo bago rin sa crypto, yung term na yan, alpha, yan yung ginagamit para sa karunungan or kaalaman na importante. Tinatawag yun na alpha. So lots of alpha that you're gonna get from Rags to Riches and from Crypto Heartbeat as well. If you're not following these guys on YouTube, I highly recommend that you follow them. Crypto Heartbeat is isa siyang Kristiyano na napaka napakalalim ng mga pinag-uusapan, at saka always coming from that vantage point of like, how can we be the best stewards of this abundance that's coming? How can we serve others? How can we unlock generosity? Because this is an abundant world, and I firmly believe that, and that was one of the things that really that really resonated with me when I first saw his content, because he was all about unlocking global generosity, all about giving, all about helping. And it was quite different from much of what you see in the crypto world, where everybody's just talking about making truckloads of money. Where's your next Lamborghini? Where's this and that? You know. Uh, so yes, Pastor Edward, Richard Hart, and oh wow, well thanks for that, man. Richard Hart and News Hunter are instruments by God to be a blessing to the body of Christ, and may the Lord bless you more. Wow, that's very, very sweet of you to say, Pastor Edward. But I do believe that Richard Hart is being used for, for a very, very special purpose, that the Lord does have a plan for him. So pray for him as well. Para sa lahat sa inyo naman, ito rin ang napakaganda sa ano natin, sa komunidad natin, because my gosh, the number of prayer warriors that we have, di ba? Panay mga pastor, panay mga missionary, yung mga nasa community natin. Kaya ano, pagdasal natin, pagdasal natin si Richard Hart, and please we continue to be praying for those on in the Ophir community as well. We're working very, very hard in the background, and guys from the Texan team and Texan community as well. Rags to Riches, Crypto Heartbeat, David Lee, the rest of these guys. They're working very, very hard, and we're very, very aligned in purposes. Although yung sa kanila with the Texan token, for those of you who haven't heard yet, Texan token is actually our sister project, and we use the same smart contract, which means that our tokens, the design of our tokens, the way that they're coded, it's essentially the same. There's very, very minor differences, but they were the inspiration, and basically, without them, Ophir would not have happened. So we're very, very grateful to the Texan guys, and as far as the values that we espouse, very, very aligned. I mean, those guys, although with the Texan token, there's more of a political slant because they're in partnership with the Texas nationalist movement, and so their firm belief is that Texas should be independent because basically things are really going downhill in the U.S. And so, never mind, going into all the politics of it, but as far as their values, they believe in family and all the tried and true conservative values that Christians believe in. And so uh, yeah, I would say it's a cause worth getting behind. These guys are amazing, amazing folks to learn from, and I would highly recommend that you connect with them, get into their community as well, find them on Telegram, get into their chat, and if you can support their project as well, uh, yeah, highly, highly recommended. So yeah, Texan guys are super, super solid. But back to Ophir. So what's been happening on the Ophir front? Magkakaroon tayo ng isa pang summit this coming Saturday in Zambales. And it's going to be at, sandali lang hanapin natin yung pangalan ng church para, at least I can give you accurate information. Last time around, I think I butchered the name of this. So it's going to be in Zambales, and it's going to be at the I Care Fellowship Foursquare Gospel Church. So we're having a summit over there. There, yan. Salamat, Brother Gab. Masarap na, kwento. Sige, isa-isahin natin to. Bigyan daw ng crypto yan. Si Pastor Edward. Hindi ko yeah. Game tayo dyan. Masarap na kwentuhan. Sir, kapag may kape. Definitely. Although, sa ganitong oras, hindi ko na kaya magkape. So here's Brother Gab saying, yan, that's where the coming summit is going to be this coming Saturday. So these summits, we have them on a regular basis, and this is where we introduce church leaders to Ophir. We talk about what the token is all about, our mission, and how to become a beneficiary, and so we have those on a regular basis. Wow, pati address talaga nilagay. Hi, Blessy. Hi, Sister Blessy or Pastora Blessy. Kumusta? Ayan, sige. Oh, ilabas na natin yung address mismo para kung gusto ninyong sumipot. That's right. 2 Ophir summits in one day. That's right. Ang layo ng babiyahe ko. So for those of you from abroad, this is going to be like a 4-hour trek for me or something like that. Or maybe a bit less, but that's what we're called to be doing, guys, spreading the word about this. And honestly, the energy in those ano? Seryoso, Gab? Uy, ginugol ko Ano? You're joking, right? I hope you're joking, because when I wazed it, it said 3 or 3.5 hours or something. Ano? Oh my gosh. Seryoso? This is hilarious. Okay. Gab, baka... Oh my gosh. Check ko nga ngayon. Baka naman kasi magta-tricycle kayo. Legit. Oh my gosh. Wait. Okay. So then let's see. Akala ko 3 oras lang. 3 or mga 4 na oras. Yung, ewan ko, baka mali yung na-waste ko. Talaga? Oh, sige. Lakad sa maps 5 hours. Oh my gosh. Lakad daw po, Sir John. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Apparently, I may have looked up the wrong place. So, na-excite pa naman ako. So yeah, anyways, these summits, guys, are where we gather church leaders, and we talk about the mission of Ophir, that it's all about channeling abundance to hearts determined to serve, unlocking abundance to fuel generosity, and that it's really been created to empower churches specifically. So we only distribute our tokens to churches. No, actually, that's not entirely correct. But our main program is really to do with churches, pastors, missionaries, especially those who are working on the grassroots level. Dahil yan yung nakita ko when I was exposed and I saw how just there's grabe talaga yung mga pangangailangan ng mga pastor, ng mga, like, all of these people who are out there at the front lines working hard to serve their communities, and nakakataba talaga ng puso to see their perseverance, their selflessness. But nakakataba ng puso, pero ano ba yung Tagalog? It's also heartbreaking just knowing that we live in such an abundant world, which I firmly believe that we, and as a Christian, there's no choice. It's what you're meant to believe. If God can create something out of nothing, and every single promise that He has made is that He will give you everything that you need to live out the call that He has placed on your life. And for all of these people who are suffering the way that they are and who are in lack, and it's really unfortunate, because what's happened is that the world has been co-opted, the systems of the world have been co-opted, and there's this scarcity mentality, and the scarcity not just mindset, ano siya para siyang sakit, para siyang as we know, it's a spiritual battle, right? And so yun, galing talaga sa what's Tagalog ng sa impyerno. 'Di ba? Itong pag-iisip na para makakuha ang isang tao, para manalo ang isang tao, importante na matalo ang iba. right? In order for one person to win, someone else has to lose, and that's never been God's design. If you look at the 5 fish and the 2 loaves, there was more than enough. There was more than enough, right? The story of Jesus, which Matt Crypto Heartbeat talks about all of the time, the story of Jesus um, going out there teaching to what was 5,000 people. That was just men. So with women and children, probably talking about 10, 15,000 people. And what happened in that story? Boy goes up to Jesus with 5 loaves and 2 fish. The disciples are like, how is this going to be enough to feed so many? And what happens next? Everybody knows. Everybody was fed, and then you had you had 12 basketfuls left over. Um, so share lang natin itong mga comment. Sige. Pag tricycle daw, kinabukasan. Okay. Siguro hindi nga naman siguro sila magta-tricycle, pero gulat talaga ako diyan sa 7 hours na 'yan, Naku, excited na excited pa naman ako to be there this coming Saturday. Replying to Pastor Edward, sama tayo, Pastor Edward. Simulan na natin maglakad. Ayun! Game! Kita-kita tayo dyan. Sabay-sabay na tayo, di ba? Baka pwede tayo mag-teleport. Katulad ni, sino ba yan? Si Philip ba yan in the scriptures? Ito, nakakataba ng puso na makita sa kanila ng pangangailangan at kakulangan, pero still nakakapaglingkod ng may kagalakan sa Panginoon. Kaya heartbreaking talaga. Yeah. So to translate, it really moves our hearts seeing how much they're in need, and yet they selflessly serve for the glory of God. And so, yeah, absolutely, Pastor Edward. So once again, guys, paulit-ulit kong sasabihin, kung may kilala kayo na mga churches or mga Christian organizations, or even nonprofits that are purpose driven, and that our priority is churches. We do have a separate program for nonprofits that have values that align with ours. But ang target talaga namin dito na mabigyan ng mga tokens namin, these are pastors, churches, and not just anyone who calls themselves a church either. They need to have a legit church naman. So those are our only prerequisites, and that they need to go through our onboarding process, which we've really made much more concise, by the way. So we're looking to really start ramping things up and scaling things up. Kasi sa totoo lang, I mean, it's been a learning process also. Education is such an important component of what we're doing. And it's been very exciting because we've seen folks in their 70s, in their 80s, learning how to use crypto, learning how to use a MetaMask wallet. But we've also realized that as we've worked to educate these folks, that originally we wanted to teach them everything that they needed to know about crypto. But we realized that we had to make things more concise and simplify things. And then saka na lang the rest of what we would like them to know. So we have what we call Ophir Academy. We have an application that we've created, and through that, these beneficiary pastors, missionaries, they go through our material. But we're going to be adding much more content in there as well, so that Ophirians have the opportunity to learn and be educated. And we have an official partnership with Alt-Hash University, guys. I-announce ko na dahil ang tagal-tagal na namin pinag-uusapan yan. We haven't, but we will have a formal announcement very soon. But that is also very exciting because this is one of the best blockchain universities out there, and yan talaga yung focus nila. Exponential technologies, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and we're going to be able to make that accessible to all of these pastors and their communities and their congregations. So yun, napaka-exciting. Kung Ophirian ka, if you're a holder of Ophir, you will be granted access to their courses, to their material. So that's very, very exciting. And there are a number of um, other things that we will be announcing fairly soon. Exciting news, partnerships, and whatnot. So, ayun po. Brother, Thunder God, kumusta? Salamat at sinusubaybayan mo yung mga stream ko. Even yesterday, I saw you were there. So, thanks, man. Lots of love to the gang, to all of the guys that you work with. Miss na miss ko na yung, my gosh, 3 taon na since the last time na perform ako, which is the longest that it's been. For those of you who know me, I've been playing, performing, been in a band, I mean, for years upon years, and I haven't had a quiet spell up until the pandemic hit. So literally all the way from, my gosh, as far back as I can remember, 2000, 2001, I've been playing, and then all of a sudden, pandemic hits, things get crazy, and then I just went all in here with crypto and what we're doing right now, and I haven't gotten back to it. So hopefully soon, brother Thunder Gods, hopefully soon, makakatugtog ako ulit. Dahil sobrang miss ko na. Tsaka miss na miss ko na rin kayo. Ito po. Let's see. Sino pang mga nagko-comment dito? Ito po. May mga kaibigan po tayong bishop po in Under the Blessed House of Worship International sa Zambales po. Oh, talaga. Bishop Sammy Aguilan nasa, sana maabot din ng Ophir. Yes, well, we hope so too. So help us spread the word, brother. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, the more folks that we can get involved, the better. So, yun. Mukhang medyo late ata ito for folks. Yesterday, mas maraming, yesterday there were more people who were hanging out live. Although, like I said, ang dami nang nanood nung recording. Grabe, umabot ng what? It was like 600 on my channel, and then you had a few hundred on the Ophir Crypto. You had so these impromptu streams, maybe I'll keep them up. Let's see, because when we were doing the planned streams, I don't think we were really breaking the 500 mark, whereas now we are. I don't know what that is a function of. We'll see if it's a function of the time or what. So, salamat, brother Thunder God. And yes, Pastor Ron. Oh, game na game ako dyan. Eventually, kailangan ko lang mag-practice. Yun lang nga finally. So I finally decided to start taking time for myself to start playing again, just playing here, right? And not actually performing. And man, that was really depressing. It's really depressing just having been, because I literally have not played in years. I must have picked up my guitar like a handful of, literally less than, mabibilang sa dalawang kamay, sa daliri sa dalawang kamay kung ilang beses ako nag-practice over the last few years. And yun, nakaka-depress dahil ang layo na ng I'm going to have to put a lot of practice in to get back to where I was, but hopefully soon. I really miss it. Okay, guys, we're close to the 1 hour mark. I hope you guys had fun and enjoyed our informal conversation. Like I said, I'm going to be doing this. I'm most likely without any, pretty impromptu, without any any outlines or spiels, and most likely I'll just be surprising you guys at different times in the day. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. And so make sure, guys, make sure to share this, like, subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Facebook. So I know this is being streamed now on multiple channels. So um, follow my personal Facebook, follow um, the Ophir Crypto Facebook, and Ophir Community as well on YouTube, which is the channel that we're now pushing since my channel was shut down a good number of months ago, and Twitter as well. This is being streamed on the Firestarter Twitter. Please like or follow and spread the word, comment. So help us to get the word out. Every little bit counts. I really appreciate you guys. I am just so deeply moved at the support from the community, the messages that you guys send. Shout out to brother Hexited, who has just been. Yeah, I received another message from him today. Just such a supportive guy, and we get that a lot. It's so amazing. Guys from the community just reaching out, just giving their support, just doing what they can because they believe in what we're doing so much. So, thank you guys so very, very much. To everyone in the Ophir community, let's continue to pray, let's continue to believe, and let's continue to do this for God's glory. FGG, God bless you guys. I shall see you all very, very soon. Good night.